and welcome, Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason on this Monday. I hope it finds you well. Hope you had a good weekend out there as we had the 4th of July holiday. Seemed to go off without a hitch, right? We had the funeral started in Iran. I don't know if you saw any of that. The Suns made some appearances, but not the big one, the one that replaced the old Ayatollah has yet to be seen. We'll see if he makes an appearance. I want to say the thing goes on like all week before it'll be over. But yeah, we got the death to America and all that other stuff. Millions and millions of people out in the streets mourning the Ayatollah. But like I said, good news is seemed to be a relatively quiet 250th anniversary over the 4th of July. So that is a big plus. Today we got Team USA. If you're into the whole World Cup thing, that is tonight against Belgium. What else? What else we got? Okay. Really big stuff. Listen, we've been hammering a lot on cryptos and trying to get everybody to understand what's happening. And it's really simple. They're blowing up the money supply again. Maybe a little quieter this time. Maybe one of the advantages of Trump and him just blasting out all kinds of stuff, you don't hear about it, but you see it in Wall Street. Really, when we start looking at, take the NASDAQ as an example. Do you know all the NASDAQ gains this year? All of them. 10 stocks. That's it. What about all the other stocks? They're down. We do have the FOMC. I'll get it out. The minutes from Kevin Warsh's first meeting. We get a lot of Fed speakers this week, a lot of talk this week. Listen, we got another meeting at the end of the month. We'll see. I'll just say, wow, does Kevin Warsh like to talk real tough? We'll see if he delivers, and do we get a rate hike in at the end of this month? I doubt it. But we'll see. We'll see. Like I said, I'm shocked at how, I don't know, maybe he's gotten a little too in character as far as wanting to talk real tough but do actually nothing. I think that's going to be the watermark here. After that meeting, whether it's a hike, no hike, whatever it is, I think after that meeting, that's it. We're gonna kind of see a big rally coming in the gold and silver markets. I know you guys seemingly uninterested right now in gold and silver, and it's too bad because the prices are fantastic. But really quickly, I was on the phone most of the weekend with Iskander and Texacoin, and I'll just tell you that all of the original handhelds that we have, the credit card processing machines, they're all sold out, which is awesome. We have a ton of signed contracts. We're just waiting on machines. It's going to be extremely exciting. Please start getting USDC and or USDT. Might as well do USDT, right? Because that way you can use that on Orem. You can use it on Iskander. You can use it on Texit. You can use it, pretty much everything that we're doing. But I want to give you several big updates on top of this. I told you this isn't the only avenue. It's a good one. It's a big one. It's a big utility avenue. But in the next 60 days, we will have major announcements about fair money. What does major amounts mean? That means contracts signed, as well as downtown digital dollars, as well as one that I can't tell you about that I keep waiting on. It's coming. I can't wait. And then, of course, the video games, which is a nice, listen, Stream TXE, nice. The video games, nice. But when we talk about being the largest crypto processor in the world, that's a big thing. When we talk about downtown digital dollars, when we talk about fair money, big utilities coming. I'll just say this. I get it, right? Hey, we got to get, we want proof. We want to see it. We want to see the price. We want to see all. I get it. Spend $9.95 if you haven't already, and join Iskander just to start collecting, just in case it's an absolute ass whooping at the TSSB next month, because that's exactly what we expect. But when we get back, we got to talk about what is happening inside of the Federal Reserve, as well as how much money are they going to print. Got that coming up next. 800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason on this Monday. Very quickly, the Dow is probably quiet today, down 10. The S&P's up 40. The Nasdaq's up 280. By the way, more, I don't know what to call it, bad news. Man, China's coming. China is coming. Their chips keep getting better. Big development in other areas. We talked about the big AI stuff, right? And we're saying, okay, China's closed the gap again. Over the weekend, the Chinese weren't done. They debuted a new the DRAM chips, which are I want to say like memory and things of that nature. Dominated. This is something where like Korea dominates in this area. Huge progress, coming faster than expected. Be careful. That's all I'm going to tell you. Be careful with the AI whole data warehouse bubble that's coming. And, well, it's here, but the 10-year note, 449, not great, but inflation is – here's what we're going to pay more. Listen, we're going to pay more for pretty much everything with the exception of gasoline. That is going to come down, has been coming down. Everything, food's getting more expensive. It's not more issues with harvest here in the U.S. this week, drought in areas where we don't want it to be. By the way, it's going to be an absolute scorcher in the valley, so we're going to hit 115, I think, tomorrow. So everyone batten down the hatchets. Crude oil flat, $68, $69. Gold, depending on where you make. London, gold's down 30, 41.45. New York, gold's up 30, right? 41.57. Of course, that is the contract. The gold. Remember, New York, they do contracts. That's the August contract. London is the spot price. Why the big difference? Gold rallied big after New York closed on Friday. So gold is up as far as we're concerned from when we were on the air on Friday. Silver, it's got the same story. Down 60, 61.60 in London, up $1.28 in New York. So, but again, prices just kind of everyone's waiting now. We'll see the FOMC minutes, see if the tough talk is backed up by the minutes or not, and we'll see about what happens at the end of the month. But speaking about spending, and say what you want about Trump, right? There's a percentage of the population that love what he does. He can do no wrong. They loved Venezuela. They loved Iran. They loved the border. Heck, they don't even care that they lost money on his cryptos and his Bibles and whatever else he was hawking. Everything he does, they like. Why? Well, I think for a lot of people, they want a tough guy. Hey, we've been soft, right? And too politically correct, and the borders are open, and all these countries take advantage of us, and we need an ass kicker. Right? And they feel like Donald Trump's that ass kicker. Right? Hell, I voted for him 3 times. I hate to say it, as bad as I think he's been, because he's done a lot of things I just can't get on board with, I'd probably still vote for him. I know, dumb, but hey, I'm a lesser of two evils guy. We won't get into that. I don't want to get into that debate today. But something really cool happened over the weekend. The president showed his signature now on the $100 bill. He is going to be the first sitting president. Actually, I take this back. Not only is he for the first sitting president, the first living president that will have his signature on the money. Why do I bring it up? Because with all the tough talk, with all the ass kicking that Donald Trump and his administration have done, the biggest thing that is going to really make it difficult for whoever's the next president has to be the amount of money the Trump administration is spending. It's Jason, it's impressive considering when he came into office, there was the Ukraine and Russia thing was going on, right? That was happening. But outside of that, the world was kind of like, it's okay. Oil prices were pretty low. Inflation was, quote, coming down, even though obviously it wasn't at 2%, but inflation was kind of coming down. There was no big pandemic, natural disasters, right? There wasn't the need to particularly spend tons of money. And yet somehow they've been able to pull it off, right? They've been able to manufacture an environment where we need money printing. We need to grow our way out of these deficits. And here's the thing. As Jason and I have said, this will work for a while. It will. How long? This year into next year. My guess is this starts to fade towards the second half of next year, but we have to live with the effects of all of this. And of course, the effects are pretty simple. If we don't get like 5% GDP growth, which we're not going to get, obviously. Jason, whoever comes next, they're going to have to deal with this, and the printing press will be exhausted at this time, and it's going to be very hard to figure out how the United States and the rest of the world deals with fiat money without changing the money, right? I mean, that's the most logical thing. Hey, this fiat thing, it's kind of run its course, but we're going to have to come up with some new form of money because everything's crashing, right? Prices are crashing. The economies around the world are crashing, and we just need to I guess, come up with a new poster child of how we're going to get out of things going forward.
I don't think the printing press will get exhausted. I think they're going to keep on going. As long as let's just stick with America. As long as the American citizen continues to be okay with a lower standard of living, then the printing press will go and go and go. There's no reason for it to stop. I get sent articles all the time. This one popped up. College students testing at a 10-year-old level now for reading.
Yeah.
Okay? That's a lower standard of living. If you are not growing your population's abilities, now I understand that a tool like the computer and everything that's going on, get rid of old skills. Why should you need to know how to fix a car when you can just drive in and let the robot fix it, or a few mechanics that, that have more and more tools that they need less mechanics? I get that. But, Joe, the printing presses won't stop. They're not going to stop. They're going to keep convincing the public of a lower standard of living. As long as you can sit in your home and play whatever electric device for whatever passes your time, so that you don't spend any time trying to figure out how it works. And then whatever menial tasks, if you work customer service, or if you work at a lumber yard, or if you work construction, if you're an office guy, as long as you're staying focused on your work, and then you're completely, taken care of for your spare time, Joe. Who needs to take a trip with the family? Who needs to be married and have kids and have a great life? Who wants, just get married 16 times, get divorced 17 times, and that's just normal,
Yeah, we're gonna print money in a different system, right?
It doesn't matter what the currency is if the central bank
doesn't matter.
If the central bank is in control of that currency, they can change it to whatever they want. Which is why cryptos were so cool, because as I keep comparing it to hard times tokens, it was supposedly the people trying to figure it out, even though Bitcoin probably wasn't the people. So ugly. They pulled the good one on us with Bitcoin, didn't they? Now, listen, I like Bitcoin. I do. Came right in with that hope and change, didn't it? Came right in with that hope and change, didn't it? Hope and change.
I don't
Bitcoin.
like it enough to necessarily buy it, but I remember when it came out, because, I was here. I was been doing radio for a while when Bitcoin first came out. You heard about it in 2008. You saw it in 2009. It kind of just went on from there. I forget, was it 2010 when they bought two pizzas? I mean, maybe it was 2009. I can't remember. But one of those years they bought the two pizzas. And
it was probably 2010, 2011 when they bought the pizzas.
Yeah. And it was interesting because, like a lot of things, got so many. Of the Tea Party movement. That's a great example. The Tea Party movement and Bitcoin. How can I draw a comparison to those two things? Well, the Tea Party movement, right, really was Ron Paul. And all of us that were in that movement wanted less government, wanted government to stop spending so much money, right? Wanted balanced budgets and all of those things, and it just totally has been hijacked into, I don't know how can you even call it a movement, right? I mean, we've gone from, like, when I first heard about the Tea Party movement, I don't think the debt wasn't even $10 trillion yet. Wasn't even $10 trillion.
May 22nd, 2010.
May 20, that was the pizzas. Yeah,
that's now it's an annual Bitcoin holiday of Pizza Day.
Yes. And the thing about it was when Bitcoin came out, and so we don't know who it is, right? There's just all these weird things. Why would you invest in something if you don't even know who invented it, who owns it, the person that has allegedly the most Bitcoin in the world, right? You probably want to know who that is, but seemingly we don't need to know. But this was part of the allure, right? It was going to be private. It was billed as a competitor to fiat money, right? Where no central banker could manipulate it. Do you know how much manipulation goes on? It's sickening how manipulated fiat currency truly is. And then they create all of these. I mean, literally, it's 24 hours a day where you can get financial news that is so manipulated, but you know what? They make you think it's normal. I'm going to finish this up on the other side. 800-951-0592. We're talking about Bitcoin. And I remember early on, I didn't really understand it at all, right? I liked the idea. The idea was great. Hey, private money. We'll decide what it's worth. And what would give it its value? Well, use, right? People use it. The more you use it, the more it's worth. Think about everything we're getting ready to come at you with KXXT-Coin. By the way, so when it first came out, they said, hey, there's only going to be 21 million. Right? So rarity. And I'm like, they'll just make more. Why would they stop there? Right? Well, I didn't understand how it worked. Right? You can't make more. Right? It's literally when you set up any crypto, the day you set it up, you got to say this is how many coins are going to be mined over the 130 years, 120, whatever you decided the years were going to be. And that's it. That's all there is. We didn't know that as this developed, that it actually wasn't practical to use Bitcoin as money. We didn't know. Now, of course, we didn't really know anything, right? Remember the Bitcoin millionaires, bunch of young geeks. I say geeks, and with all due respect, by the way, geeks. So, hey, listen, believe me, I got a son who's a geek, and I wish I was a geek, honestly. All you ladies out there, marry the geeks. You know what I'm saying? They know what they're doing. Having said all that, sometimes I get off topic. Sorry about that. But they knew how to plug in and mine the tokens. One of the things, when we talk about KXXT-Coin and Iskander, right, you get the coins every day. Now we just need them to be worth more, right? It comes every day. And you have to be a member to get them. Where Bitcoin, anybody who knew how to put the right mining server together could make a lot of money. And of course, now, as we said, Bitcoins have so many times. I mean, they hardly make, it's like 3 coins a day. And of course, the bankers got involved. They built these mega mines. And the last time a nobody from nowhere actually won a block, I think it happened last year. One guy, first time in years, somebody won one that wasn't one of these big data warehouses. And of course, by the way, one of the 11th largest Bitcoin mining operation in the world is in Japan. They're shutting down. Well, I shouldn't say they're shutting down. They're switching to data warehouse or something. It's not profitable. And it costs a ton of money. It's slow, right? There's so many things better than Bitcoin. But, like I said, they hijacked it. It's the same thing. Hey, who controls it all? Well, the big money. Think about it. Saylor, right? That guy Saylor, they just had to sell, it's so dumb, 3,588 Bitcoin so they could pay a dividend. Of course, they were never going to sell any ever, right? All that nonsense. But it's more like they want it to be gold, right? Hey, you just buy it and hold on to it. And then somewhere down the line, you sell it, and hopefully you made money, right? I mean, that's kind of it. There is no utility, right? There is no competition. And it sucks, right? Part of the thing, we were talking about, hey, picking up where Bitcoin left off, we're actually going to bring the utility. So it's kind of cool. We'll see what happens, right? We're going to see what happens. But here's the magic of it all. It was never really about Bitcoin. No, it wasn't. I mean, they figured it didn't take them long to figure out, hey, wait a minute. We don't want all these geeks to make all the money, right? And now it never happens, right? You don't hear any Bitcoin millionaires mining Bitcoin at their house anymore. That's gone. But it goes, doesn't it, with they brought blockchain to the world. We're tokenizing everything. And they know with all the money printing that they're doing, the need, and it's not just us. I want everyone to understand. They need every dollar, every yen, every euro, every renminbi, every pound, you name it, loonie, peso, whatever you want, whatever the currency is. They need to track it all. They can't have cash anymore. You can't put money under your mattress anymore. How about bank accounts? It's interesting because with a digital setup, do you know the power that the banks have besides tracking everything? Right? They can eliminate things. We don't like guns anymore, or these guns. We'll just make them so nobody can sell them, right? And then, of course, it goes, black market, right? You got to meet a guy in an alley and trade him something of what he deems equal, barter, right? Essentially, hey, it's an equal trade. You give me gold or you give me silver and I'll give you this. And, of course, you better have stuff that isn't in the blockchain to give them, right? That's the other problem. But do you know what they'll be able to do digitally? They'll be able to have an interest rate, a 10-year note. Like we said today, it yields 4.5%. If you try to get a mortgage today, where somewhere in the high sixes, something like that, right? Right? Do you know with a central bank digital currency, they can have that? But then they can say, guess what, though? The banks, when it comes to your money in the bank, that's a whole different rate. What? We're going to talk about that when we get back. 1-800-951-0592. You know, Donald Trump rang the bell on Wall Street today. Pump Dell. Yes, Michael Dell, a big donor to the Trump administration and the Trump, whatever, the $1,000 deal that they're giving people. So Dell stock having a nice day. I wonder if Donald Trump has it in his portfolio. I'm sure that he does. But we are talking about the abilities that blockchain has over fiat. One of them is they can now have two rates. One of the things I want you to understand, who is the enemy in the eyes of the banks? You're an enemy of the bank if you keep large amounts of cash at home. You're an enemy of the bank if you buy stuff like gold and silver. That's outside the system. For all of you out there, and I get the appeal of it, I like to have a lot of money in my bank account because it proves that my family and I, we've made really good decisions with money. We've lived within our means, and I like knowing, when I go to the ATM, the rare moments I go to an ATM and pull out $20, I always like to hit the show me my balance so I can see it. Say $100,000 or $200,000. Hopefully it's not more than $250,000. People like that. They feel like, hey, I've made something of myself. And of course, they were hoping with inflation that you'd be smart enough to figure out, gosh, that's kind of dumb, right? They want you to invest it. They don't care what you do with it. They don't, honestly. Buy stocks, buy a boat, go on vacation, buy a better car, buy a better house. Use the money. That's what they want. But with digital now, think about this. We can have a Fed funds rate of 4%. And then we could have a bank rate of 0. Heck, they could even say negative. Right? Why would they do that? Well, when debts are so large, they need the money spent. They need GDP to grow. The ability, could you imagine if you had $200,000 in the bank and every month, you lost a little bit, right? And of course, it'll start at a little bit, right? Well, that $200,000, it's $199,500 this month. What? I just lost $500. Yeah, guess what? You're going to lose it again next month, unless you decide you want to spend it, right, Jason? I mean, this is where we're going to be at. You need to spend it. They don't want a country of savers. Now, they're okay if you do what they want, right? Okay, have your 401k. By the way, what a great investment that's been. It really has been. Here's the sad part. They created the 401k in the 80s. I mean, I don't even know what the Dow was. Maybe 2,000 points. I'll look and find it at some point. I'm just not motivated to do it right now. Right? The Dow today is 52,000, almost 53,000. Boy, we should have millionaires everywhere. Yet the average 401k, the average balance, and I'm taking average, so it's kinder, about 112,000. Yeah. Right? If you did the median, I don't even know if it's even at 100,000, which just tells you, right, Jason? Hey, these people are so broke they can't even save. Just how we like it.
I'll tell you something about saving. I've been moving a little bit of money through a crypto exchange, so I can get some Tether and do some Orem signups. I've been knocked out of banks last year. I got crypto exchanges that went backwards on me, so I have to be a little more careful. Joe and I were going crazy last year with Texacoin, but I'm not moving tons of money, but it's considered a large amount for a lot of people, but it's not that much. Well, the exchange.
You know what, Jason? I just want to highlight this. What Jason is saying. Yeah, it's not. For a lot of people, it's a lot of money, but literally, it's not that much.
Yeah, talking $7,000 here and $4,600 there. Different amounts. But the exchange reached out to email and talk to me, and I'm like, they're like, oh, what are you doing? Why are you buying? You're bringing your money in and you're turning it into Tether, then it's leaving. And where's it going? Where are you investing? What projects are you? Would you send us the URLs and the websites and everything about where you're investing? So, in a crypto exchange, there's still a little, I'm sure there are people that can go and get those addresses, figure out where it's going, but it's not an easy process. I don't think you could just grab those account numbers and know where the money's going. And with Mike Morris's advice, and I was talking and making sure I go slowly on this. I just, I told him this, which is actually pretty much the truth. I said, look, I'm sending the Tether to my ledgers, plural, ledgers. I'm going to do Tangent too. Where it looks like we're getting into Tangent. We'll get into that one here soon. And I said, I'm saving the Tether there. I don't want all of my money in the banks. They emailed me back, where are you investing this Tether you're sending out? I was like, I had to email it back. Once again, I'm saving Tether in my ledgers. I'm sending and you're making money off my exchanges. They did loosen up. They're like, okay, you're clear to go, Mr. Walker. I was like, all right. Yeah. They don't even like hearing that we're saving it in our ledgers in a crypto stablecoin, Joe.
800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason on this Monday. Very quickly, $20 gold pieces today, $42.95. Rolls of U.S. Silver Eagles, $1,435 at 800-951-0592. Gold's at $41.50. Silver, $61.65 right now. We're probably going to continue this conversation. Not probably, we are. We're going to continue this conversation into the half-empty cup. 877-536-1360. If you've got questions, we'll be happy to answer them. But I want to highlight how important every dollar really is. If you don't believe what I'm telling you, because I'm telling you, they want to track every dollar. Jason just told you, hey, $7,500, $4,000, right? I mean, these, I'm not, I don't want to say that's not a lot of money, but it's not a lot of money, right? We know that. It's not. Oh, my God, what are you doing?
It's not even a traditional bank. It's a crypto exchange.
What are you doing with this money? And I take my arm. I've got a couple, $10,000 signups. I've gotten several of those, right? But the vast majority are $2,000 or less. Okay, and again. I've gotten $200 ones, $500 ones, $1,000, $2,000. Definitely not a lot of money. But here's the thing, and this is the crypto space. They want to know where that money is. Where did it come from? Where is it going? Right? They call it KYC, right? Know your customer. And the thing behind it, well, gosh, man, what could you possibly be doing with this $500, right? We got to know, right? You got to do all of these. And, of course, you guys know you get on these exchanges, you got to send them your driver's license and take the pictures. You got to do it.
Like a regular bank account. Yeah,
just like a regular bank account. But then when you start using it, yeah, you could be a drug dealer or a terrorist, which is so ridiculous, right? I mean, it's just idiotic, right? I'll be honest. I don't know any drug dealers. I don't know any terrorists, right? Right? I'm sorry, don't know them. But honestly, though, the thing about it is, take the GSSB, like Texas Coin, $995. Well, we don't know if you're sophisticated enough to invest a whole $995 unless, the person selling it to you went to our banker class, right, and was registered with the ability to sell a security.
We're here to protect you.
Yes. We're from the government and the bank, and we want to protect you.